of the one of the ones that I'm looking most forward to is the wide receiver position, and I want to say tight end as well, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, I guess with the tight end room, it's we'll see kind of, and again, we'll talk into why. I mean, we'll see a little bit with it, but yeah, just something to look at. But let's take a look at our wide receivers. So, just a real quick rundown of what last year looked like. So CU's passing game was one of the most, again, we can all agree, one of the most electrifying in college football. But again, like we talked about, those dudes are gone. I don't know if you watched last night, but LeJontay Wester, first punt, took it to the house for Baltimore, was awesome. So I was up yelling, "Go, go, go!" like he was playing for Colorado again. But that was fantastic to see last night. And again, I would assume if you guys are on here that most of us saw it. If you did not, go take a look at that. It was pretty awesome to see in that number 83. But the output last year, so the receivers, they combined for 3,926 receiving yards, 35 touchdowns, and they averaged 318 passing yards per game, which CU was ranked 6th nationally. So again, that is losing a ton of production. So again, star performers, obviously, we'll start Travis Hunter, 92 catches, 1,258 yards, 14 touchdowns, led the nation with 21 receptions of 20 plus yards. Blitnikoff winner, that again, like we've talked about over and over again, Travis Hunter's not here. Again, we are going to be sitting here during the season saying, well, if Travis was here, this would have been taken to the house. But he is a one-of-a-kind player. Even watching him on TV versus watching him in person, those of us who were able to watch him in person, it's almost unfair. You would watch him go and, come out of a route or catch the ball. He was just way faster and seemed just way better than everybody on the field. You could tell immediately what was going to happen. So pretty excited to watch him play last year, Travis Hunter. So just want to keep an eye, just wanted to throw that back out there. But LeJontay Wester, 74 catches, 931 yards, 10 touchdowns. He did have a punt return as well last year. But again, you watched him play at Colorado and you knew there was something special there. Within minutes, you were able to see that. Ethan says, by the way, Shador is cooking for the Browns. I know. I didn't realize. I guess that he was. It wasn't until the show started that I was like, oh man, I already have this scheduled. But I'll go back on the DVR and check it out. But yeah, pretty exciting for him. So we'll check him out after this. So those of you that maybe that's part of it too, that aren't here or watching somewhat, I don't blame you at all. I wanted to see that. I think again, I'm gonna watch tons of Browns games this year, which is not something I ever thought I would do. So LeJontay Wester, but there's that Will Shepherd, 48 catches, 621 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, we watched him play. It almost felt like he would go up and get the ball, but then he would drop easy ones. But still, that's going to be someone really tough to replace. Jimmy Horn Jr., 37 catches for 441 yards. It felt like he was hurt a lot last year. I don't know the actual number breakdown, but you almost would forget about him. He'd come back and he would hit a big one and take off. And you're just like, man, I forgot how good he was. But he is having a great camp in Carolina. Don't know if he's on the field yet, but again, that's like the only name that feels like it's coming out of Carolina right now. So just someone to keep your eyes on. So again, that is tough to replace. So those are the departures, their impact. And again, it is pretty cool to think about the returning receivers and just in that room alone, what is coming back to Colorado this year. And again, not, the everyday, those big national corporations, whomever it is that follow. When you follow a team, I think we can all. Colorado has one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in the country. Again, they should have the best wide receiver room in all of the Big 12. trying to think who would even come close, but again, Baylor maybe. Trying to think of a couple others, but what they're returning though, again, like we've talked about, Omarion Miller, dude is that dude is. I can't wait for him to be the number one receiver. Again, camp has been huge for him. He's burning everybody, but I'm really excited to see what O brings. And I think this was one asked, who's the breakout player, wide receiver, most likely to swing a game, like on a single play, like most explosive? Is that kind of what we're asking there? Because if that is, I mean, we'll get to him here in a second. Draylon Miller. So we started seeing him come on and get more playing time. You've seen him against North Dakota State, lined up in the backfield. Dude is everywhere. So he is going to be Colorado's Deebo Samuel this year. Deebo Samuel from a few years ago, but this is their Deebo Samuel. So really excited for him. Terrell Timmons returns. I don't know why it feels like he's been there forever, but real good player. Not a ton of production. Again, none of these guys have a ton of production. Isaiah Harge, we've seen him, number 17. That's the guy, the player that I've been talking about. That's you'll see him on both sides of the ball. Again, not to the Travis Hunter level, but you'll see him on both sides of the ball. And then there is this, for the player that is the breakout player that can change the game in a split second is Cam Michael. This is speed. He is extremely fast. We have not seen him a ton, but Cam Michael, number 18, this dude can fly. Just what is he? I don't even know his 40 what it is, but he is one that you play on NCAA and you're going to get close to a 98 speed if he's not already there yet. He can fly. Really, really excited. Really, really excited to have him to see if he gets burned this year, because he's going to be special. Just tons and tons of speed. So the tight end room, returning Savell Smalls. So he had 9 catches for 68 yards. And again, I think we saw him number 31 last year. If you didn't, the Buffs were missing a tight. They're in need of a tight end last year. And a receiving tight end. Smalls does a pretty good job, as those other things. But again, there needs to be that threat of a tight end that'll go up and get it, box you out, or go grab a rebound. Sam Hart, he'll be back. Limited action in 24, appeared in 6 games, logging 24 special team snaps. So again, as you all can see, the way that sounds is, they were in need of a receiving tight end. And again, what you can see, and not one that's a freshman coming in ready to play right away, one that it was pretty established and could lead that room. So just want to think about there now. Some additions through the transfer portal. First, we'll go over transfer portal. Let me see. Here's a question: which position group is most underrated right now? Man, that's tough. I mean, underrated, I would say the linebacker room. I know a lot of people were upset watching the videos because the linebackers are hitting the wrong holes and doing those kind of. I did see those where we seen Reggie Hughes and French hit the wrong hole, or scrape too far down the line, whatever it may be, or in the box, we should say. So I think the linebacker room. Again, they're more athletic. They have, I think that's the most underrated part. I wanted to say the running back room, but again, when you have your 2 running backs that are going to get the majority of the snaps as preseason watch list for the Doak Walker Award, I mean, I don't really think they're underrated at that point. So that's what I would normally have said before. But honestly, I think it's the linebacker room. I think we're going to be pretty surprised. Most of us will be with what Reggie Hughes brings, what Martavius French brings, and one Kylan Salter. So I'm excited to watch him play and having him out there, Kylan Salter, on those passing downs, and watching him run and fly around and cover people. So real excited for that. But I would say linebacker right now. Back into our receivers. So here's the transfer portal addition. So Joseph Williams, coming from Tulsa, he was the AAC? I think that's the conference. So that Tulsa plays in, was the There you go. American Conference Freshman of the Year. He had 30 receptions, 588 receiving yards. These were second on the team. He also caught 5 touchdowns, averaged 19.6 yards per catch, and this was good for 12th in the country. So, and again, just as far as average per reception. So, one to watch. He is one that will go up and get the ball. Really good receiver coming in, still young, 3 years of eligibility left for him. Next one, Hakeem Williams from Florida State. This, I have no idea how this was not made a bigger deal. This is a former 5-star recruit, 6'3", 220. He, in the class of 2023, he was the 4th ranked wide receiver and number 24th overall. So again, I don't know why no more are not talking about it, but Hakeem Williams is, again, that's going to be one that he comes out of nowhere and like, who is this? And like, it is not one of those guys. This is a former 5-star. This is a former 5-star who tons of talent. That again, if you watched any Florida State or remember what Florida State did last year, it was not good. So how much of that was technically, what Florida State looked like versus, players not being involved, right? Because we all watched DJU play last year and that was rough. So was that last year or the year before? Whenever it was, but these last couple, last year was really bad for Florida State. Sincere Brown. Now this one is huge upside guy, and no pun intended when we start going over him. 1,028 yards, 12 touchdowns in his 2 years at Campbell. He is 6'5", 195 pounds. Reports are he runs a 4.3 40 at that size. So if you can just imagine that in the Big 12 with, you start thinking about this, right? What that offense could look like. Sincere Brown's out there, then there's so many different options to go with, right? You have to not only guard that and the deep ball. So do you keep a safety in? Do you move a safety in the box to stop, Caden Salter on those those read options, those RPOs, all these different things. It is going to be somewhat of a nightmare. But again, this is a huge upside guy. High floor, low ceiling. High ceiling. And with the medium floor going on there. So I'm really excited to watch him. Coming back is Jack Histera. He left the Buffs, went to Utah State, and he will be back. So went to Utah State in May of 24, left, and now he's back with Colorado. So really, glad he's back with the Buffs, and we'll see. He had some pretty, some good production there at Utah State. And then tight end that they added in the portal. So from Northwest Missouri State, Zach Atkins, 6'4", 240 pounds. Some say he's 6'5", 6'6". But again, that's going to be your receiving threat now. And again, that offense ran the ball a ton. But when we do look at it, that was a running offense. So he had, I think it was 360 receiving yards last year at Northwest Missouri State. But again, one that I'm really excited to watch because now you have that big tight end target. Freshman prospects, Quanell Farrakhan Jr., route runner, return acid. So he did both. I should say he played receiver, obviously, but was a return guy as well and really good at that. Out of Houston, Texas, 6'1", 180, 4-star, ranked 47th in the nation. So again, that is one player to watch this year and watch him develop as we move on. So they also landed another 4-star, but he hit the portal. Like I said, we would talk about Adrian Wilson, originally committed, then hit the portal. He's now at UNC. So he's gone. But again, hopefully that's where a good place for him. So again, wish him nothing but the best there. Tight ends that were recruited. So Zane DeCiso, local kid out of Loveland, and Loveland, Colorado, that we talked about. And luckily he chose Colorado and didn't end up at CSU. So he picked way better of than that other team up there in Fort Collins. So he was a 3-star. He's height and weight first. 6'6", 260 pounds. Now, what you're going to start seeing now with Colorado, even with Gavin Mueller, who we talked about, the Buffs are targeting huge tight ends. So whether they great at blocking or route running, catching, they are trying to get these humongous tight ends there. At Colorado, it's only a matter of time before they land one of those 4-star, 5-star tight ends. And again, that was a huge piece missing last year. You start to think, what if they had a receiving tight end as well as a couple other things? So, yeah, so just pretty excited to see what that does. But yeah, Zane D'Souza, one to watch. Again, rare physical frame, athletic, mismatch potential, both as a receiver and blocker, and may develop into a hybrid offensive lineman, tight end role. One that comes to my mind a lot. Nate Solder originally went to Colorado to be a tight end and ended up being a really great left tackle, Super Bowl winning left tackle with the Patriots. And again, he was from Buena Vista,